Hey, everybody. Welcome to Connect Cannabis. I'm your host, Brian Holler. This, of course, is brought to you by Wrazel. Wrazel is a online B2B platform for cannabis companies looking to raise capital. If you are, please check out Wrazel.com. Anyhow, I am here with Brett Macomber of Cannakins Consulting. Brett, how the heck are you doing today?
Doing really well. The sun's out, the birds are chirping. It's dried off a little bit here in Southern California. So we're holding in there.
There you go. Cannakins is a IT consulting firm that specializes in helping cannabis companies. Brett, talk to us a little bit about your background. How did you come to create Cannakins?
Sure. So I'm originally from the Midwest, and back there I had a construction company, and eventually, the economy changed, and a lot of us, like we are doing now, are scrambling to find a way to work. Figuring out what might be next in our professional lives. So I went back and got some degrees in IT and business. Was very fortunate to be able to be recruited by some really cool companies, some big companies doing some cool things. And so that got me exposed to a lot of different technologies at a lot of different scales. Just because you're working at a big company doesn't mean they don't have small offices or subsidiaries that you also work with as well. So, after a few years of being in corporate, I ended up out here in California, was in healthcare, working for one of the regional healthcare operations out here, and was introduced to some people in the cannabis industry who were, looking for some technology assistance. They weren't really sure where to go. This was a few years ago, just almost 2 years ago now. So it was still difficult for business owners to really know where to look or who to trust, or even find technology companies that would openly work with a cannabis company.
Yeah.
So this led me to found Cannakins Consulting to be able to take on that specialization. Cannabis definitely relies on the traditional infrastructure. Most businesses today need internet, business telephone. But there's really been a genre of technology and software and different things that have sprung up around cannabis because of its uniqueness, in the legal field, and then also just as a medicine, but also a recreational product as well. And truly a universal product, which we can talk about later. So that kind of brought me to the situation where we are now, where, I've almost come full circle to being in a crisis situation again. People are needing to find ways to support their business and continue to work. And so Cannakins is here to help people and their business learn how to work remotely, more efficiently, and really come out of this situation on top when things get better, and we do get back to whatever comes next.
Exactly. And IT consulting might sound like this kind of big large thing to people. How about we get into a little more specifics? So what do you find, what services do you find yourself doing mostly for your clients?
Right. So our core business is kind of the IT infrastructure. So like I said, a business is going to need internet and telephone. Today, business telephone doesn't have to be tied to an office. We have cloud phone solutions, which are actually coming to the rescue for many businesses right now. We're able to quickly take a business phone structure, which may have been tied to an office or may not have been very easy to manage for a remote workforce, convert that to a cloud solution, and now you can easily manage all your users from your home office. They can have work numbers ring on cell phones that you don't have to have physical desk phones tied to your office anymore. So, whether it's that just standard infrastructure stuff, business, internet, telephone, wireless, cabling, a lot of that's kind of on hold right now.
Sure.
But then also we get into a lot of the software and technology that's really driving cannabis.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important thing to designate. Like you were saying earlier, there's a lot of different types of software that different types of cannabis companies have to adhere to due to a lot of differences in cannabis compared to other industries or other sectors.
Exactly.
And being a specialist who understands all those different types of software and how it could appeal to you, different budget, different technological types, integrations, etc. I'm sure something that you talk with your clients about quite often.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the fun part for us. I've been doing the infrastructure stuff for a while. It's something that, is a core part of the business, but really getting to work with the different cannabis licensees and understand, how different parts of the vertical do have different parts of pieces of software, but a lot of times you're trying to do the same things just in different packages. So we definitely find that, cannabis has the loyalty programs, companies such as Spring Big, I think LeafLink does some loyalty on there too. There's also the different marketplaces that are out there that allow the cannabis companies to buy and sell their products, whether it be in a B2B situation or a B2C situation. And then the mandatory software. Think about Metric as a required software for California, and then some other states do have some different required track and trace software. But for us, we've been able to get engaged with Metric. One of our clients are developing a piece of software that is integrating with Metric. Has allowed us to be able to learn some ins and outs of the system. And now we can provide a couple different areas of support for California Metric for our licensee clients.
And let's talk a little bit briefly, like for those people who might not be in California watching this, what is Metric? What is it? Who does it help in the cannabis supply chain?
Right on. Metric is one of a handful of what's called track and trace systems. These systems are mandated by the government at the state levels. And they track cannabis from the very early stages of cultivation on through the process of distribution. They track, does this product get sent off to a manufacturing plant to then get changed into maybe some edibles or some pre-rolls? Does it just be sent off to processors to get your concentrates, your vape cartridges, things like that?
Or like testing too, right?
Yeah, and testing as well. So this software really touches every single licensee within the cannabis supply chain, and it's mandatory.
Yep.
So it's designed to really make sure that the illicit market isn't benefiting from the legal supply chain. Is what it's designed for.
Sure. And I guess secondarily, making sure that you're tracking things efficiently and organizing them correctly and, ushering through the supply chain in the most efficient and, I guess, quick way possible.
Right. There was an update recently where the cannabis testing labs in California can now populate some information from their tests, which helped automate a few things. It helped populate some information for like distributors.
Yep.
Within their shipping manifests. So, it's working towards a state where we'll be able to provide more information within that system, and integrating these different pieces of software is how we're going to get there.
Yep. And I would imagine a lot of people, businesses, and I'm sure you can speak to this, are really taking stock of what they have right now, what they have available to them. And, I would love your opinion on this. I would guess that this is the time to really look at what you have and see where you can integrate your systems, for lack of a better term, right? You were alluding earlier to, even phones, right? So I can have a phone option that actually integrates with my, let's say, CRM, even my, and then my overall kind of data collection efforts so that I can, really make calculated decisions, but it also might be cost effective too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that if you're on LinkedIn or some of the different kind of professional social media sites, you'll see people talking about customer retention, talking about how do brands, retain customers? How do they get new customers? How do you promote your brand? Dispensaries as a business, how do you promote your business? How do you get new customers in the door? How do you keep current customers and things like that? So looking at these kinds of integrations to where if someone calls your business, is your CRM or your customer resource management software, is that taking note of that phone call? are you able to say, hey, this customer called in at this time about this issue? And those are some systems that's become fairly simple for us to deploy today. So it gives you an amount of visibility into your business and your customers, who's communicating about what, when are they communicating, how are they communicating. It really gives you a picture that can help you create a sales funnel to take all of that in and generate revenue for your customers so you can keep doing what you're doing and providing medicine for the community.
Yeah, and your team at Cannakins, that's what you do for your clients, right? You're
Yeah,
basically,
absolutely.
evaluating all
IT
their.
has changed from a cost center to a cost savings center.
That's right.
We had to make the change several years ago to make sure that, we were providing return on investment for our clients, that you're not sinking thousands or tens of thousands of dollars into equipment that just sits there. It costs a lot to maintain anymore.
Yeah.
Today's, IT solutions, and especially for cannabis, are meant to be lean, are meant to help you improve your efficiencies and really be more of a operational cost than a capital expenditure or some big chunk of money that you have to invest and, depreciates over time.
Yeah, I would definitely implore anybody listening that's kind of making considerations, which I got to assume many of you out there are, about your businesses. Give Brett a call. Get in touch with Cannakins Consulting. They are good people who are going to look out for your best interest and get you to where you need to go, even maybe quicker than you thought you could. Speaking of that, what are you seeing in terms of pivots from your clients, given the current environment we're in? Are you seeing any kind of trends that stick out to you with regards to what you're having to, how you're having to help clients?
Right, absolutely. So here in California and also in a couple other states, we are working with the retail clients to be able to set up online ordering systems. Systems for pickup, delivery systems. We're able to help them get these systems up and running, optimized, and able to handle whatever may come down the pipeline for that business. And then, we're also using these same kind of systems to connect the retail businesses to the distribution companies who have the product that they need. A lot of times we'll go and we'll talk to a retail business about their online ordering and pickup and delivery. And we'll mention, hey, we work with, a distributor that's close to you or this other licensee that's close to you. And they're really happy to have someone, to collaborate with. They may need product from the distributor. They may need some testing done from a lab.
Right.
So really, whenever we're working with a client, we definitely bring the entire industry and community to them, whether it's something that we do in-house or somebody that we partner with.
I think you hit on a really important thing there. IT, you're bringing people together to do things more efficiently, to communicate with each other more effectively, right? To bridge the gaps that are hindering progress. I don't know that everybody sees it that way, and I understand all the reasons why that could be, but in cannabis especially, I think these kind of things are so needed, because it's really important that we all understand that there is a way that we can do all of this that's very efficient, effective, forward thinking, and by the book even. And so, I think that's important. And that's something that, do you find yourself kind of talking with clients about those sorts of things, moving forward, kind of like the way that we need to remain interconnected?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of their requests in the tools that they use as software. They want to be able to communicate with their customers, and if they're doing a delivery service, they want to be able to communicate with their drivers, and they want that three-way interaction to be able to happen. So at every level, whether it's from a B2C level or a B2B level, the businesses and the customers are definitely seeking that communication. And we have the tools to make it happen and to make sure it's safe and secure for them.
Yes, and listeners out there will find this as no surprise. Brett, with that kind of kind of stance and belief and ability in his company. You will be not surprised to hear that Brett is the director of technology for LA NORML, which of course, there you go. And NORML, of course, one of the more famously well-known cannabis advocacy organizations in the entire world. And tell us a little bit about the LA chapter and some of the new things you guys are doing out there.
Yes, I'm super excited about being able to participate with NORML in this capacity. The LA chapter has been around since 1973. And this year, the National NORML Association is celebrating its 50th year. So that's one of the reasons that we've taken this opportunity to look at the LA chapter and see what its potential may be. We've gathered up a really stellar board of directors that we now have the resources and the manpower to relaunch the LA chapter. We think LA could be the biggest market and should be the biggest market for cannabis in the world, and we want to make sure that we have the NORML representation there. We're doing a free pre-420 party, e-party this weekend on Sunday.
Nice.
Go to lanormal.org, check out our Instagram, Los Angeles NORML, and also our Facebook page, Los Angeles NORML.
Yep.
You can find us by generally Googling Los Angeles NORML or LA NORML.
Yep.
You'll find our events there. We've got a new website with a lot more information and content. And then for Cannakins, you can find us at cannakins.com, or you can find us on Instagram at Cannakins. Also, we have a Facebook page, Cannakins Consulting as well. So if you Google Cannakins or Cannakins Consulting, you're likely to find us and be able to connect with us and our services. Email address would be contact@cannakins.com.
Yep. And if you guys happen to be perusing Wrazel's services index, you can find them there as well.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit more about the LA NORML event coming up on Sunday. From what I understand, it's a couple hours, very laid back, just kind of saying hello and, tell us more.
Yeah, absolutely. So the event is going to be from 3:30 to 5:30 Pacific time on Sunday. Whenever you sign up, you'll get all the information. But I have our guest list here, and it includes Bruce Margolin, of course, who founded the LA chapter, a very famous cannabis lawyer, supporter and advocate of cannabis for a long time. Brett Harrelson, Woody Harrelson's brother, is going to join us. Todd McCormick, Keith Stroop from National NORML, Felicia Cajal, Chris Del Olio from WebJoint's going to be on there.
There you go.
Mr. Sherbinsky's is going to be on there.
Hey.
And last and certainly not least, we're happy to announce that Tommy Chong is going to join us.
Well, there you go. Tommy Chong, always interesting to see and fun to interact with if you get the opportunity to do so. So everybody out there, if you want to check out what LA NORML's doing, make sure to check out their webpage, check out their Instagram profiles, and tune in. It'll be a fun time, it sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have a little 420 sesh with Tommy and Bruce and a few of the guys, and maybe some more surprise attendees as it gets closer. You never know who might show up.
You do never know who's going to show up on those crazy meetings these days. So,
no.
They are a fun time, as you and I both know. Exactly. Well, Brett, like you said, make sure to find Cannakins out there. They're a great resource for you, especially if you have IT needs. Any questions, I'm pretty sure Brett will be available. If you want to hit him or his team up, they are a great resource for you.
Absolutely. We're doing a lot of remote work right now. So very, very easy for us to come in and support through a Zoom screen share or even a phone call. So,
that's actually something I think people need to kind of really absorb too is, Brett and his team they don't have to come to your house. They don't have to come to your place of business to do all the work that he can do excellently. They can patch in remotely. They can work with you via phone. They can help you get where you need to go fast and without having to kind of book time out in your day to do it. You can just talk with them and integrate well. So make sure to hit them up. And of course, as always, if you're looking for needs in other areas of your business, or if you're looking for funding for your cannabis business, please visit Wrazel.com. Brett, thank you so much for being with us today on Connecting Cannabis. Always appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. Have a good week.
Be well. Talk to you soon.